जय हिंद। आज से हम लोग कंपनी लॉ के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 के प्रोविजंस डिस्कस करेंगे। ये प्रोविजंस इसके नेक्स्ट वीडियो में डिस्कस करेंगे। इस वीडियो में इसके जो ओवरऑल व्यू देखेंगे कि कंपनीज एक्ट क्या है, कहाँ कहाँ इसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होता है, ठीक है। और बिफोर गोइंग टू द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन एंड अदर पार्ट्स, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द हिस्ट्री। हिस्ट्री में कुछ इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्ट्स जो हैं उसे नोट डाउन करेंगे, कुछ इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स देखेंगे। और आज के डेट में जो हमारे पास कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 है, यहाँ तक हम सफ़र कैसे तय किए। तो एज यू नो, द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ कंपनीज लॉ इन इंडिया इज पैरेलली टू द डेवलपमेंट of companies law in England. So there was a tradition in England. वहाँ एक प्रथा थी, for incorporation of the companies you have to take the prior consent from royal charters. आपको कंपनी को इनकॉर्पोरेट करने के लिए रॉयल चार्टर से प्रायर परमिशन लेने पड़ती थी बाई अ स्पेशल एक्ट। तो इन 1844 जो ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट थी वो एक एक्ट को पास की। ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट enacted an act in 1844, that is Joint Stock Companies Act 1844, and under this act the incorporation of companies by registration was given. Before this act the consent from royal charters was taken, but after this act this tradition, this प्रथा, ये प्रथा जो थी इसे खत्म कर दी गई। एंड जो कंपनी का इनकॉर्पोरेशन है वो बाय रजिस्ट्रेशन होने लगा। और बट जब ये एक्ट पास किया गया, इसमें जो मेंबर्स थे, मेंबर्स की जो लायबिलिटी थी वो अनलिमिटेड थी। तो इसी मेंबर्स की लायबिलिटी को लिमिट करने के लिए एक और एक्ट पास किया गया 1855 में बाय द ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट, दैट इज लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी एक्ट 1855। इस एक्ट के तहत जो मेंबर्स तो होते थे उनकी लायबिलिटी को लिमिट कर दिया गया। एंड इसके जब ये 1855 एंड 1844 दोनों का एक्ट कुछ दिनों के बाद चलने के बाद एक अमेंडमेंट इसमें फिल किया गया। तो इसमें एक कम्प्रिहेंसिव एक्ट को पास किया गया 1856, एंड इन दिस एक्ट द मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन and memorandum of article of association, the provision of these two important documents was introduced. Memorandum of association and article of association, the provisions of these two documents were first time introduced in comprehensive act 1856. So the parliament given the liability to the members under the limited liability act 1855, and with two documents was also introduced in comprehensive act 1856. But after these three acts, a new act in 1862, a new act was introduced, and this act superseded these all previous acts. And first time the Companies Act, the title Companies Act was introduced in Companies Act 1862। जो आज हम इतना बोलते हैं कंपनीज एक्ट, ये जो टाइटल है इसका जो फर्स्ट टाइम इंट्रोडक्शन जो हुआ था वो कंपनीज एक्ट 1862 में ही हुआ था। और इसके साथ साथ इसमें बहुत सारे इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रोविजंस दिए गए थे, जिसमें सबसे पहला जो प्रोविजंस था, इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रोविजंस था, ये जो दो डॉक्यूमेंट है मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन एंड आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन, इसको लिमिटेड लायबिलिटीज कंपनीज के लिए इंटीग्रल पार्ट बना दिया गया कि अगर कोई कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेट होता है विथ लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी, देन दिस टू डॉक्यूमेंट विल बी द इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज। सो फर्स्ट प्रोविजंस वाज दिस। सेकेंड प्रोविजंस वाज जो लिमिटेड बाई, जो कंपनी लिमिटेड बाई गारंटी होते थे, कंपनी लिमिटेड बाई गारंटी, द फर्स्ट एंड द प्रोविजंस ऑफ कंपनीज लिमिटेड बाई गारंटी वाज आल्सो इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन Companies Act 1862. So this is the first provisions in these two documents become the integral part of those companies which is limited liabilities company. And the first time the introduction of liability company limited by guarantee, company limited by guarantee was also introduced in Companies Act 1862. And the third provision is the object clause. The alteration in object clause of Memorandum of Association was prohibited. The alteration in object clause of Memorandum of Association was prohibited. This is the third important provisions was introduced in Companies Act 1862. And the last important point was winding up. The provisions of winding up was also introduced in Companies Act 1862. So basically these four important provisions was introduced in Companies Act 1862. First one is those companies which is limited liability companies. These two document, Memorandum of Association, Article of Association, will be the integral part of the companies. Second point is the provisions of companies limited by guarantee was introduced. Third point is alteration in object clause of Memorandum of Association was prohibited. And the fourth point was the provision of binding up was introduced in Companies Act 1862. इसके बाद अभी तक जितने भी कंपनीज थे सब लिमिटेड लायबिलिटीज कंपनीज की बात करते थे. सो इसके बाद इन 1908 एक एक्ट आया जो इस सारे प्रीवियस एक्ट को सुपरसीड किया. दैट इज कंपनीज एक्ट 1908. एंड इन दिस एक्ट द फर्स्ट टाइम द प्राइवेट कंपनी, द प्रोविजंस ऑफ प्राइवेट कंपनी was introduced. The provision of private company was introduced in Companies Act 1908. And then after बहुत सारे अमेंडमेंट्स आए. उसके बाद जो फाइनल हमारे पास जो आया कंपनीज एक्ट 1956. पहले जैसे पहले इंग्लैंड में डेवलपमेंट होता था कंपनीज एक्ट में, वैसे ही पैरेलली हमारे पास इंडिया में भी होता था. जैसे फर्स्ट टाइम द कंपनीज वाज 1844. सो इन इंडिया first Companies Act was passed in 1850. In 1850, the first Companies Act passed in India. So जैसे जैसे डेवलपमेंट हमारे यहाँ इंग्लैंड में होता था वैसे वैसे इंडिया में भी होता था. सो द फाइनली जो फ्रेम होकर आया हमारे पास कंपनीज एक्ट 1956. जो फाइनल कंपनीज एक्ट था वो 1956 था. तो ये काफ़ी दिनों तक चला, काफ़ी सालों तक चला. उसके बाद इसमें कुछ अमेंडमेंट फिल किया गया क्योंकि हमारा जो नेशनल और इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमी था वो काफ़ी ग्रो कर रहा था. उसमें काफ़ी चेंजेज आए 1956 के हिसाब से. तो जब तक हम लोग 20th सेंचुरी में थे हम लोगों ने इसे काफ़ी इम्प्लीमेंट किया. बट आफ्टर जैसे ही हम लोग 21st सेंचुरी में प्रवेश किए हम इकोनॉमी, पूरे वर्ल्ड की इकोनॉमी, हमारे नेशनल इकोनॉमी काफ़ी ग्रो की, जिसकी वजह से इसमें कंपनीज एक्ट 1956 में अमेंडमेंट की ज़रूरत पड़ी और काफ़ी सारे अमेंडमेंट्स हो भी चुके थे इसमें. सो फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ बेसिकली इन द व्यू ऑफ डेवलपमेंट इन नेशनल एंड इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमी and to boost up the expansion and growth of Indian economy, the amendment in Companies Act 1956 was filled. So ऐसा फील किया गया हमारे पार्लियामेंट के द्वारा और जो स्टेक होल्डर्स थे उनके द्वारा कि इस एक्ट में चेंजेज आना चाहिए क्योंकि हमारा जो इकोनॉमी है ये काफ़ी चेंज हो चुका है. तो इसी को ध्यान में रखते हुए 3 अगस्त 2009 में एक बिल इंट्रोड्यूस किया, कंपनीज बिल 2009. हमारे जो इंडियन पार्लियामेंट है उसमें एक बिल को इंट्रोडक्शन हुआ ऑन 3 अगस्त 2009, दैट इज कंपनीज बिल 2009। जब ये लोकसभा में इसे रखा गया, when it was introduced in Lok Sabha, then this Lok Sabha referred this bill to the standing committee, parliamentary standing committee on finance, for giving their reports, for examination and giving their reports। और ये जो रिपोर्ट दिया गया वो 31 अगस्त 2010 को दिया गया। द रिपोर्ट वॉज सबमिटेड बाय द पार्लियामेंट्री स्टैंडिंग कमेटी ऑन फाइनेंस बाय ऑन 31 अगस्त 2010। सो 2010 में इन्होंने रिपोर्ट दिया और इनके जो स्टेक होल्डर्स थे, जो कंपनीज एक्ट 1956 जो था पूरा, इनका जो स्टेक होल्डर्स थे इनके द्वारा भी काफ़ी रिकमेंडेशन सबमिट किया गया लोकसभा में। जब उन्होंने अपना रिपोर्ट दिया, रिपोर्ट में बहुत सारे इन्होंने अपब्रिंगिंग के लिए इन्होंने बहुत सारा अपना रिमार्क्स दिया, बहुत सारे रिकमेंडेशंस दिए। So by considering these all recommendations by the standing committee and by the stakeholders, the parliament withdraw the companies bill 2009, and then after a fresh companies bill 2011 was introduced in Lok Sabha in 2011। सो 2011 में एक फ्रेश बिल को लाया गया। ये जो प्रीवियस बिल था इसको विड्रॉ कर दिया गया और नए बिल के इंट्रोडक्शन उस लोकसभा में किया गया। एंड ऑन 2013 29 अगस्त 2013 दिस कंपनी विल गेट assent of president on this date। The assent of president on 29 अगस्त 2013। सो जो कंपनीज बिल थी, कंपनीज बिल जो था 2011, इसका जो प्रेसिडेंट का जो असेंट था, प्रेसिडेंट के जो हस्ताक्षर हुए वो कौन से दिन के हुए? 29 अगस्त 2013। एंड ऑन 30 अगस्त 30 अगस्त 2013 को जो इसका सेक्शन 1 है, सेक्शन 1 ऑफ दिस एक्ट was enforced। So on 29th August 2013 the assent of president was given on Companies Bill 2011, so it becomes the Companies Act 2013। and from 30th August 2013 the section 1 of this act, Companies Act 2013, was enforced। But rest you will find the date of enforcement of this act on which date? 12 September 2013। दिस इज इन्फोर्समेंट डेट। आप कहीं भी जब आप ढूंढेंगे तो ये डेट इन्फोर्समेंट डेट रहता है 12 सितंबर 2013। क्यों? क्योंकि इस डेट में 98 सेक्शंस को इन्फोर्स किया गया था। ये जो हमारा सेक्शन 1 है बेसिकली इंट्रोडक्शन सेक्शन। सो द प्रोविजंस इज नॉट गिवन इन सेक्शन 1, प्रोविजंस गिवन इन रेस्ट सेक्शन। सो द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ प्रोविजंस basically enforced date is 12 September 2013। so if in examination if it is being asked by the examiner the enforcement date of the Companies Act 2013, then it will be 12 September 2013। and rest section was enforced on 1st April 2014। 1 अप्रैल 2014 को कितने सेक्शंस इंट्रोड्यूस हुए थे? 184 सेक्शन. So basically, when we study the provisions of this act, so this is the bare act in my hand, Companies Act 2013. So the object of this act is an act to consolidate and amend the law relating to the companies. This is the object of this Companies Act. And one date is dated 29th August 2013. So this date is the date on which the consent of president was given. So this two date, you must remember these two dates. Now come to the implementation. Implementation part is given in section 2 of this act. Sorry, section 1 of this act. This act extends to the whole of India. The implementation of this act is extend to the whole of India, and it is applicable to this 6 type of the companies. This 6 type of companies. First company is companies incorporated under this act or by previous act. If any companies which is incorporated under this act or incorporated under previous act, on those company also this Companies Act 2030 will be applicable. And insurance company, banking company, companies engaged in generation or supply of electricity, other companies governed by the special act, and other body corporate. Basically this is the companies which is incorporated under this act, and this act is being incorporated under the special act. So there is an exception of this clause. Means this act will be implemented on this act, except those provisions, except the provisions inconsistent with this concerned special act. बेसिकली इस एक्ट का जो इनकॉर्पोरेशन होता है, इस कंपनीज का जो इनकॉर्पोरेशन होता है वो स्पेशल एक्ट के द्वारा होता है. तो इस कंपनीज एक्ट 2018 के सारे प्रोविजंस इस पे इम्प्लीमेंटेड हो गए. ऑल द प्रोविजंस ऑफ कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 विल बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड ऑन दिस काइंड ऑफ कंपनीज आल्सो, except those provisions which is inconsistent with the provisions given in this special act and in this related concerned special act. Like if we will talk about the Insurance Companies Act, then the provisions inconsistent with the Insurance Act 1938, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act 99. अगर कोई भी प्रोविजंस है जो हमारे कंपनीज एक्ट का प्रोविजंस इस स्पेशल एक्ट के प्रोविजंस इससे मैच नहीं करते हैं, इनकन्सिस्टेंट है, उसके अगेंस्ट है या कुछ अल्ट्रेशन है, तो उस अल्टर पार्ट पे हमारा कंपनीज एक्ट का प्रोविजंस अप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. दिस इज द एक्सेप्शन ऑफ दिस और एक्ट. अंडरस्टूड? So banking, in case of Banking Act, the provision of Banking Regulation Act 1949. In case of companies engaged in generation and supply of electricity, then the provisions inconsistent with the Electricity Act 2003. अगर इन सब प्रोविजंस के से मैच नहीं करता है हमारे बैंकिंग कंपनीज एक्ट का प्रोविजंस, तो उस पर अप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. सिर्फ उस पार्ट पे, ये नहीं कि पूरे के पूरे प्रोविजंस जो प्रोविजंस जितना प्रोविजंस का जितना पार्ट इसके अगेंस्ट है, इसके इनकंसिस्टेंट है, उतना ही पार्ट जो है वो पार्ट पे ये इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं होगा। रेस्ट सारे भी पार्ट है, अगर जितने भी अदर प्रोविजंस है वो सारे प्रोविजंस पे ये अप्लीकेबल होगा। इस कंपनीज के सारे प्रोविजंस इस कंपनीज पे अप्लीकेबल होगा। ठीक है, तो ये है हमारे सेक्शन 1। सेक्शन 2 बेसिकली गिव्स द definition of this various terminology। सेक्शन 2 बहुत सारे टर्म्स को डिफाइन करता है। जब आप सेक्शन 2 पढ़ेंगे, when you will study, you will go through the section 2, the definition part of this act, then you will find few terminology is given, like basically how the definition is being given. Definition, the starting part of the definition is what it means when you will go through the definition, then you will find few parts like means includes means and it includes means and it includes. These three words are given in every definition. Maximum you will find means, second you will find includes, and in few definition this words is being used means and includes. Means what is the meaning of this terminology? इस टर्म से आप क्या समझते हैं? ऑल द डेफिनेशन पार्ट्स में जब आप डेफिनेशन पार्ट पढ़ेंगे तो ये तीन वर्ड काफी यूज होंगे। मीन्स on the basis of certain silent features, on the basis of certain principles, the definition is being given based on some silent features or some principles or some provisions. Based on these things, the definition of the term is being given. It means if you study the term, if you define the term, and in example you find something which is related with the terminology, which is related with the definition, then you can categorize that example under this category. Means, for example, accounting standards. Under section 2 clause 2, accounting standards means the standards of accounting or any addendum thereto for companies or class of companies referred to in section 133. It means if you will go through the section 133, then all the standards of accounting which is referred there on the basis of some principle, on the basis of some silent features, you can categorize that as a accounting standards. You can define as a accounting standards. This is the basically this term means. And includes means on the basis of this terminal silent features, on the basis of some principles, a few list you will find few list, and that list is being included under that definition. Not complete definition, not complete silent feature, not complete principles. On the basis of this principle, on the basis of silent feature, the parliament has categorized, has listed that terminology under that definition. Means you will find the list of something which is included under this definition. For example, control under clause 27, section 2 clause 27, control shall include the right to appoint majority of the director or to control the management or policy decisions exercised by the person or persons acting individually or in concert directly or indirectly, including by virtue of their shareholding or management rights or shareholders agreements or voting agreements or in any other manner. This is the definition. Means it is a kind of list. Under this list, this control will be defined. You one more example. You take one more example under section 2 clause 37. That is documents. Document includes summons, notice, requisition, order, declaration, form, and register, whether issued, sent, kept in pursuance of this act under any other law for time being in force or otherwise maintained in on paper or in electronic form. So this is the list given under this given by the parliament to include under the document under the definition of document. So this is the basically the meaning of this term includes the list of something will be given under the definition. And third point is means and it includes. Means on the basis of these silent features, on the basis of some principles, these silent features and this principle is also included, but not all the related things will be included. Under this definition, the principle, the silent features, the doctrine will also given. But on the basis of this doctrine, on the basis of this principle, the parliament also exclude something and include a list. And the list of a thing is also given. Means there the definition principle under this definition of this term, the principle features doctrine will also be given along with the list of the things will also be given. For example, you take the example of prospectus. The definition of prospectus, where it is given. Under clause 70, section 2, clause 70. Prospectus means any document described, issued as a prospectus and includes a red herring prospectus referred to in section 32 or self prospectus referred to in section 31 or any notice, circular, advertisement or other document inviting offer from the public for the subscription or purchase of any securities of a body corporate. Means here both the terms means is also written and includes is also written. Means on the basis of the silent features, on the basis of the principle, the definition is given along with the list of the things which could be included under the definition is also given by the parliament. So basically when you will go through the definition, you will find this terminology, so don't get confused. And in the last this under this WARE Act, 7 schedule is given, 7 schedule is provided. So we will go through one by one. Under first schedule, basically the two documents, memorandum of association and article of association, the draft, basically it is useful for the CS students, CA students and ICWA students. The legal, the useful, those who is a student, legal student of law, they do not use these provisions. So under schedule 1, somebody speak like a schedule, so whatever you pronounce yes. And schedule 1, in this schedule, the memorandum of association and article of association. How will you draft when you will draft the these two documents? The what will be the drafting language? What are the contents you will write? So basically, you will go through the schedule. You will find the how to draft the memorandum and how to draft the articles. And schedule 2 is basically given the useful life of depreciation and amortization, and under this schedule the amortization rate, how to calculate the amortization rate is also given, and what is the useful life of any component, anything, like if you will when you will do the accounting, basically financial accounting, then you will find you will find the help of this schedule, like if you mention the plant and machinery, then what will be the useful life of the plant and machinery, that is also given in the schedule 2. So basically the useful life of the all the elements, all the things, all the assets is being given. And the third schedule is financial statements. How the financial statements is being prepared, in which format the financial statement will be prepared. This all details is being given in schedule 3. Financial statement. Under financial statement, what is the balance sheet? How to how to make the balance sheet, how to make the profit and loss account, how to make the cash flow statements. So basically the rules and basically the draft is being given, in which draft, in which format this financial statement is being prepared. So under schedule 3, this draft of financial statement is given. And under schedule 4, the independent director related rules, means what will be the, how the independent director will be appointed, what will be the remuneration, how they will be removed. This all rules is being provided under the schedule 4 of this act. And under schedule 5, the managing director and whole time director, the provisions related to the managing director and whole director is being provided under the schedule 5. And under schedule 6, the infrastructure project or facilities, like when you will go through the transportation. So if you establish a incorporate a company, the one, what will be the transportation schedule, how you will develop the transportation and logistics. So these all basic concept is being provided under this schedule. And the last one is CSR, corporate social responsibility. What are the things which will be included under the corporate social responsibility? The detail of this CSR is being provided under schedule 7. So for law students, this is not so much important, but basically the CSR, yeah, and independent director and MD and whole time director, this 4 schedule is important for the law student, and rest all is important for the CS, CA and ICW student. So we will also discuss about this all schedule one by one in detail, but in next video we will discuss about the we will start to discuss about the provisions of this act. Thank you. Jai Hind.